I've noticed that in so many of the places that I've worked, the deepest driver of why these conflicts are so protracted, cyclical in their return to violence, is often because there's a deep process of humiliation and a really significant level of suffering that people experience. And that humiliation comes with a dehumanization. Our dictionary has a word for dehumanization. But if you go to the dictionary, you can't find a word for rehumanization. So how do we make our way back? How do we make our way back through and into relationships that have been harmed and that we have harmed and that we have experienced harm from?
Yeah.
And what I've noticed, of course, is that we typically in the human community, we have a much longer memory of the harms we've suffered. And we have a very short memory of the ways that over generations, our people have contributed to the suffering of others. And I think this is part of that picture of why I talk about it as staying with it, is that, the real keys, I think, to change are this relational component, the ability to be honest and vulnerable with other people about who you are and what you believe, the ability to be non-defensive when differences show up and really confront you, that choosing not to move down that route of reactivity and defensiveness, but to stay engaged with that curiosity. And then the third element, to stay with the relationship, because the drive of deep and toxic polarization is that you create safety by getting away from it. And sometimes, obviously, that's physically true. It is, you need to run. There are moments where there is no alternative. But that metaphor is very much the metaphor that we find in a lot of explanations of conflict, are metaphors of separation, of moving away, of finding ways to turn our face away from conflict rather than toward it. And I think the long journey toward that rehumanization is really that ability to turn and engage the hard things and then stay with it.